Hi everyone, welcome back. We are here at Ready to Emerge Detour Essentials Live. This is episode 8, which means only 2 more episodes to go. Is it 2 more? Is it 10?
Two more episodes to
Two
go.
more episodes to go. So we are almost at the end of season 6, which is kind of crazy because I feel like we just got here. But this is episode 8, guys. Only two
Yep.
more to go. But first of all, we want to thank everyone that's tuned in tonight already. So, hi everyone. Please let us know in the chat where you're joining from. For those joining for the first time, this is Ready to Emerge Detour Essentials Live, and we are in season 6. We stream every Wednesday when we're in season at 8 p.m. CST, so that'll be 9 p.m. if you're in the States. And we stream live from YouTube and our Facebook channel. If you haven't already, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share our channel. And of course, we have a super amazing guest, not just an amazing guest, a friend of the Emerge family on tonight. So now would be the time for you to tell your friends to join into the show because it's going to be amazing. We want to say a big shout out to our sponsors, Sagicor Jamaica. They've been with us on this journey, and we're super excited to have them as a partner, just not just for Detour Essentials Live, but for our workshops, and of course our upcoming hybrid event that Catherine will tell you a little bit about. But before we get into that, we're going to just do our quick introductions because we don't want to assume that y'all know us. So we want to make sure we start fresh and say hi. My name is Naomi Garrick. I am also known as a PR chick. I'm a personal branding coach and trainer. And I'm also the founder of Garrick Communications, a boutique PR agency, and a proud member of the Emerge Trio. And essentially what I do is I help individuals, companies, and brands to have better brands, whether it's a personal or professional brand or just a company's brand. So that's me. Over to Catherine or Rochelle. Anyone will do.
Let's see, Rashi.
Is it over to me?
Yes, ma'am. Over to you.
Oh, whenever the button change properly, you don't know, say if it's a reach.
Okay, wait. So remember, for Rochelle, we have to do like the So I'm Naomi Garrick, and I said my lovely thing, and so happy to be a part of the Emerge Trio.
Reach. My name is Rochelle Cameron. I'm a multi-potentialite.
Ooh.
Practice her profession that is still her core love, the practice of the law, and I get to blend it with new skills and skills that I think are just inherent in me to develop people, to help organizations develop their people, but also to create strategies, legal strategies, communication strategies, people strategies that affect their bottom line. To see the value of people, the value of good processes, the value of great corporate governance to the overall growth and development of your companies. I am also an international speaker and the daughter of Marcia Cameron and granddaughter of Esme, in case you didn't want to know.
And it's very important for you to note that point because, as we learned from last week's show, it's very important for you to say whose daughter you are, right?
I am saying
very important. You never know who's watching. You don't know what family members are out there that you don't know.
What kind of relationships or connections you're making. Hi, everybody. I am Kathy Goodall, and I am a marketing and brand strategist, and I am a podcaster. I'm also a leadership and growth coach and trainer, and I am a part of the Emerge Trio. So like Naomi said, we have our workshop coming up, and we're super excited about it because we're going to be live, guys. We're going to be back in person, and we are extremely excited about that. I don't even think we know what to do with ourselves. When we were in the planning process of this and we started to look at venues again, I was just like, what else do we actually need to do? Because it's just, we haven't done it for
weird.
2 years.
It is weird. It's weird.
It's exciting.
but
It
it's
is. It feels like a whole new world again, you know? It
so
feels
we
like
are still going to be online for the people that cannot join us in person. And it's going to be on April 30th, and we will be emerging without limits. So
Yes.
stay tuned to all of our platforms at Ready to Emerge for more information. Tickets are going to be on sale by next week. And all the information will be out by early next week. So we are looking forward to it. I don't know. I'm just so flustered because I'm excited about going back live.
Yes, we've been planning, as Catherine said, looking at different venues, looking at our speaker roster. So it's gonna be we're just really, really happy to be back on our Emerge stage, and being able to interact with our emergers in real life, but also being able to share the same excitement with our emergers that won't be able to physically be present. So it's like we get the best of both worlds.
But you know, as you ladies are speaking, and Catherine mentions that we have to be looking at venues and just the excitement and the anticipation. I mean, a big part of this is finding shoes that can stay on your foot and don't dismantle while
I haven't even ventured into that space because that's a scary space. When I came home for Christmas, I put on a pair of shoes and it came off of my foot before I got down the stairs.
I'm just saying.
Welcome to the club.
It's gonna be on April 30th, and yes, it is gonna be online as well.
Yeah. Auntie Normadel says, I noticed the emergers have all added additional titles, skills, and profiles.
Yes, because we continue to emerge.
We continue to emerge. It's a journey.
No, and actually, as we are emerging, own our spaces and be proud of them. Because you know, even for me, it's something that if you ask me on any given day, I don't identify in the various spaces. So we are emerging too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Default to lawyer.
Yeah, we just what is that lawyer? No, it's true. It's something I have to be very conscious of.
Yeah.
Very conscious of. Because he said, Jesus, we don't want to get in another part there. We don't want to get to that part there. But let me tell you, I mean, as we're speaking about this and emerging into 2022, and we're, you know, getting you in the preparatory mode for our hybrid workshop, which is going to be lit. It is going to be lit. It was very important tonight that we had a guest that is in a constant state of emergence.
Yes.
I always say there's something about being fabulous on the one hand, and there's something about being fearless in your fabulosity. Yeah. And this lady, if you've ever gone anywhere and seen her enter a space and literally people stop,
literally,
and hold their chest and they can only ask, who's that lady walking down the street? Who's that lady? Let me tell you, this is a woman that is not afraid of embracing everything that is amazing about her. She describes herself as a Jack Jill of all trades. But you know, like some of us, you know, will say that we're a Jack of all trades. She really is literally Jack of all trades.
But she's like a master of all of them too.
And she's a master of all of them. And that's one of the things that has always inspired me with her is that she's not afraid to use some skills that she has, go and learn other skills, and constantly be building on what is inherent to her. She has an eye. You know, when they say, well, people have an eye, she doesn't just have an eye for fashion. And many of us remember her as the face of drennaLUNA. I mean, I have many a drennaLUNA piece that we've sat down, and she's like, the neck there, Rochelle, that neck there don't look right. We have to add some drama to it, because when you're walking and the cape goes, them to stop. So she excites you about being fabulous. Then she not only does it in the fashion space, but she does it in the space of your home, of your office. I mean, when someone can actually make a funeral home to make it appear as a place that you would actually want to visit, even just to pass through, if you look at what she's done, that is talent. When you talk about a multi-talented person who has gone overseas to learn upholstery, who
And not just any overseas, London,
England, and then if you really want the best tiramisu in Jamaica, you call her.
or
Chocolate
chocolate,
cake,
or lemonade,
lemonade.
or roast chicken, or hamburgers.
And when she tells you the story of her dear beloved, may he continue to just rest in peace, Colin, who made the oxtail lasagna for her, and a lizard jumped out on her and she dropped the dish with the oxtail lasagna. And she went home the evening, go make an oxtail lasagna for herself on the Christmas day. So when you talk about someone who inspires you to go beyond anything that your mental capacity thinks that you can do, but to say, I could actually add this element to it. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we will hear from Angelie Spencer, who you may know from Montego Bay if you come from Bay. You know her as sister, and I should mention the twins and the wonderful Arlene Martin, her partner in drennaLUNA. You may know her from Ash. You may know her as the face of Ashley Furniture. You may have seen her in the prep school that when them said tea party, she bring the tea party, all the arts and everything. She like make tea party, prep school tea party, elevate. And many of you have celebrated with her on Instagram 20 years of marriage to Timothy. And we did cheer her on in 1994 when she was the body, Miss Universe Jamaica. We ask ourselves, what more can she do? And I am telling you, when she's finished with us tonight, not only will she tell us what more she's going to do, but she encourages us to just press on and live all that we can do. Ladies and gentlemen, just prepare yourself. Take out a little notebook too. And you soon hear the signature laugh as we welcome Angelie Martin Spencer to the Emerge stage.
Hello, my darlings. How are you?
Hi, Angie.
It's so great to see you girls. You know that I love you all equally and differently.
Oh, we love you so much too.
We definitely love you too.
And the food.
It's been too long. It's been too long. We have to catch up very, very
Way
soon.
too long.
Yes, with burgers, with lemonade, followed by chocolate cake. I will chocolate tiramisu for Rochelle.
We need an emerging dinner, I think we should.
We do, don't we? That sounds good.
Yes. And I'm
very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure.
It's like the chocolate cake.
We have no oven door, the oven popped down finally. And it's saying no more. The oven said cream. And
I'm sure there are many of us that would be willing to put together to buy a new oven. I guarantee that.
I'm sure you would not have a problem.
I'm sure.
So Angie, we have so many things to talk about. The last time Angelie was on the show, we spoke about, we had her and two other special guests. Michelle is actually on as well, Michelle Gordon. I see her in the chat. And we were talking about This Is Us because they were embracing their 40s, and also because they almost broke the internet with those amazing photos, with those amazing bodies, kind of reframing how we think a 40-year-old woman or a woman in her 40s should look, should act, should behave. But tonight it's all about Angie. And before we get into her amazing journey, I want to for you to just share with us, what has your experience been like over the last 2 years? Because we haven't really, as you said, gotten a chance to really sit down, and so many things have been happening. So I know we're going to hear about the journey to this point, but what's been happening over the last 2 years for you?
Actually, it's been quite a lot. I have been one of the very, very privileged people who has had a wonderful past 2 years. That's amazing. Yes. I have grown in my new space, in my new capacity. as interior decorator, upholsterer,
Mhm.
wallpaper. I've been very, very blessed to have been constantly working throughout COVID. And it's been as fulfilling as it's been challenging. And the challenge is, it's reliability, it's timing, it's product. I mean, a lot of the things we can't even get anymore. It's shipping delays, it's unreliable people, it's a bunch of different things. But it's actually been incredibly fulfilling and gratifying and wonderful. Like, I've done some beautiful projects that I'm so very, very proud of.
Yes.
And I'm very blessed to have clients who trust me, and a couple of them are clients that I've worked with before, so I'm just repeating with them or expanding on what we've done, and it's just been incredible.
That's amazing, Angie.
Yeah.
As you said, to be able to still do what you love, make money from it, make more money from it, but also expanding what you do and what you offer. Because we see the pics on Instagram and we share them, and I'm sure everybody that sees like, wow, either can I get a home so that I can have Ash redesign it, or can I get some money so I can actually redesign?
I cannot wait. And it's both professionally and personally too, because I've had a wonderful time as well, just bonding with my family. So we had a wonderful time, especially initially in 2020, where we created a bubble. So we were home. We're homebodies, so COVID really worked out for us. But then my mom and Arlene actually came here, and they were a part of the bubble. So we stayed safe together, and we got to just grow together and know each other and discover movies. And I and Arlene have become such great friends and movie buffs, and we're the Avengers, adventurers, and the couch potatoes, and we have movie nights, and it's been a wonderful 2 years. It's been a wonderful 2 years. So I as I always say to Rochelle, I don't understand how me I look so blessed, but I totally embrace it all. Yeah.
I love that. So to go back now, we heard, Rochelle, you are the master at those introductions. So we heard so many amazing things that you have accomplished over the years and still accomplishing now. But tell us a little bit about this journey of yours, like just starting from, I don't know, like your earliest recollection. Like, did you ever think that you'd be doing all of these things? How did this happen?
Never. I think if you look in the dictionary for evolution, you'll probably see me somewhere there, because you can go way back to even when I was a teenager. It's so funny. I've become known as this ladylike grooming etiquette and deportment trainer. And you should have seen me when I was like 15, 14, 16. My parents were very, very concerned about their daughter. And it could be because they were anticipating a son at some point, and they just kept having girls. And they had me, and I seem to have been the boy, because I was the biggest tomboy as a little girl. I was the only one who was courageous enough to learn to ride my father's motorcycle, and I'd always be riding bicycles and roller skates and climbing trees and dislocating my shoulder and mashing up with the shoes bottom tear off and uniform strap break, and same one. That was the bane of my life. And she just couldn't understand what is wrong with this girl. And then, it just, I guess in typical Angelie style, I was just born to just evolve and to grow and to become and to be. And everything just happened one step at a time. As much as I was a tomboy, then I remember starting to do fashion shows, because I always liked modeling, and I always loved nice clothes. And then I started modeling, and then that graduated to me being invited to enter fashion model by Pulse, coming to Kingston and doing that, and then being titled the most dynamic of them. And then I thought, oh wow, I can do this thing, and this is pretty cool, and I can stand properly and hide the chip up legs from the roller skate accident and the bicycle pedal scrape off machine. And so of course, it's just this evolution, and then being called to enter Miss Jamaica Universe. And I remember saying, actually, I said, listen, I have a mirror, and my mirror don't tell me that I'm pretty. What do you mean enter Miss Jamaica? But in typical Angelie fashion, and I think that is my strength, is in all things that I do, I just give it 100%.
Yes.
It's 100%. And I never do anything with which I am not comfortable. So people admire me for excelling in whatever I do. And it's because I stay steadily in my lane. And I only have strength, and I find strength in my lane. And my main lane might be broad. It might have a couple bends. It might take a lap.
Maybe a
Sometimes
boutique
it's not into a marathon, but it's in my lane.
Yeah.
And I just don't come out of my lane, and that's the only lane that I can thrive in, and it's my lane. And so that's just basically my strength is just knowing what I'm good at and just giving it. All if I'm not good at it, or so great at it, and I give it one shot, I have some desire to do it, and I just give it 110%, and results.
Wow. I mean, that's the thing that you almost like. I feel like you're great at everything.
You know, it's everything that I do, I'm great at.
And
it's
the other things that you're great at.
Yes, and if you notice, I'm obviously a creative. I love trying new things, and to be very, very honest, a lot of it's so interesting. A lot of the things that I've done have chosen me.
Ooh.
I've very rarely chosen anything, and I have to say that interior decorating is probably the first thing that I actually chose instead of it choosing me. In everything else that I've done, it has happened upon me. So I was doing a fashion show, and they asked me to enter the pageant, and so I said, all right, I'll just do it. Why not? And
then you sound just like me.
Yeah, and then from the pageant, they said, oh, we want you to do this commercial. I'm like, oh, geez, what? And then next thing I know, I'm Guinness girl. And it's like, okay. And then I'm touring.
You said a Guinness girl? That's what you said?
You remember the French
cut? The French cut to keep me.
Wow.
From the water to the muscle man. No joke. And then I remember being invited down to the Caribbean. So I've been to St. Kitts and St. Vincent and Nevis and all over the place for tour of Guinness. I'm going to drink Guinness. And I'm like, what am I going to do? So I just pose with the bottle. And I with people, and I'm just uncomfortable with the whole idea of it. But same thing, it chose me, and I just had to do my best at it. And even with drennaLUNA, I mean, I never set out to be. I'm not a fashion designer. I tell people all this all the time. I'm not a stylist. I would like to think that I was just drennaLUNA's muse, but I was also Arlene's bullhorn, and I was her pump. I pump her up and vibes her up and just support her 100%, because Arlene is the exact opposite of me, the polar opposite. Like, she knows, like, she is incredible. Like, she is amazing. Like, I want to be her when I grow up. I used to tell her that all the time. But Arlene is like Catherine. They're very reluctant in their brilliance and their beauty and everything. I tease Catherine all the time when I used to try to dress her up. I call her my reluctant beauty. And Arlene is the same thing. She's just like the reluctant achiever.
Yeah.
And she can do all things. And so I was just always there just supporting her because I could. And as a result, I mean, to this day, people will say, Arlene will get introduced and they'll say to her that, she's a designer from drennaLUNA. People will say, really? I thought that was Anjali.
Yeah.
No, and Anjali at all, she does not. But yeah, it's just the same thing as that chose me. And then I always do my makeup. People are like, oh my gosh, your makeup looks so great. And so I'm like, okay, can you do my makeup for my wedding? And I'm like, okay, sure. I'll do makeup for wedding, and then I'll do a makeup for the photo shoot and newspaper article. And then I said, you know what? Let me get certified. And the next thing I know, I was a certified makeup artist.
Oh.
It chose me. But even though
the thing is, like you said, it chose you, but you also continued to make sure that, okay, since this thing chose me, I'm gonna be like the best, or I'm gonna do as much as I can.
Treat with opportunities, because many people opportunities are presented and things technically are choosing them, but they're like,
it's fair. Yeah. It's fair. So I actually have to show Arlene brought it. Arlene traveled a couple of years ago and she brought me back a cup, and it just said brave. And it just summed up in her beautiful silence what she actually thought of me. Like she admires the fact that, well, she thinks, I mean, I don't see it, but she says, you are just so brave.
And she said it again tonight.
Yes.
Because she's brave. Arlene gave me that cup and it touched my heart, and I make sure that nobody use it because I don't want to ever lose it.
Yes.
And I guess that's what it is. It's I hate to fail. I don't believe that there is such a thing as can't. I tell even the workmen all the time, I have these bold ideas to do something, and they're like, Mister, before you start with it. And they, well, Miss, and I'm like, before you start, we do not use can't. We're going to explore every possible way, and we're going to work through it, and we're going to figure out how we can accomplish this thing. Because how difficult can it be now? It's not rocket science. Mm-hmm. And so even the cakes, for example, to be very, very honest, I'm immensely frugal, but I love nice things. So, and I'm not wealthy. So I want the best and the nicest things, and I can't afford them. So, I'm going to get it. I'll certainly try. Even the cakes, and how that happened was Anna's first birthday. And I wanted to get a beautiful cake for her, but I wasn't going to spend 5 digits on a cake for the 1-year-old. And so I said, I just learned what a fondant cake was. And I want to make a 2-tiered fondant cake. And I Googled what fondant was, and I found that we're in Jamaica sold fondant, and I made Anna the cutest, most lean and lumpy, but beautiful fondant cake. And so at that party, at Anna's first birthday party, Michelle said, oh my God, Anjali, that's so great. Christian's birthday is in a month. You should make Christian's cake. All right.
Yeah.
It wasn't Michelle, it was the piano and the guitar, I think. No, the guitar was his 3rd or 4th. It was a piano and a drum, 2 polar cakes on my 2nd attempt. So we made the drum cake and we made the piano cake. So at that birthday party, another mommy says, oh my gosh, Angie, that's so awesome. You have to make my daughter's cake in December. So in December, I'm making the little handbag cake with the movie tickets and the lipstick. And then after that cake, somebody was at that party, decides she wants me to make her sister's wedding cake. And so this is the evolution of Angelie, and the next thing that chose me. And the next thing you know, Miss Novia, and her evolution of persons. Next thing I am displaying at Food Awards, 3 years in a row, with my hearty assistant, helpful, beautiful assistant, Arlene. Arlene, we can slave and work her out. But it's payment, right? But it's she can give me 1 day a year, well, 2 days a year, set up and working and pull down. Wow. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. But it's stick-to-itiveness. It's just believing that you can do it. It's giving it 100%, and I do it with everything I do. Yes. If I exercise, I give 100%. If I'm driving, I'm giving it 100%. Whatever I'm doing, I just give it 100% because I do not like failure. Mm. I do not like failure.
Brandon mentioned that chocolate cake, boy. Let me tell you something. If you have not had that cake, to the point that my son, a couple years ago, that's what he wanted for his birthday, was Angie's cake. And then we found out that some relatives were coming over to the house, and he's like, Mom, we have to buy a sugar and spice cake for them because we're not sharing this cake. And I had to buy a little sugar and spice to give for everybody, because he was like, no, this was my gift. We have to share the other cake.
And true story, I don't even like chocolate. To be very honest, I mean, up until a couple years ago.
I don't like chocolate either, but I like your chocolate cake.
Yes.
I would never order a chocolate cake.
Yeah. But that as a chocolate connoisseur.
Me either. But
I'm a chocolate connoisseur. Chocolate cake is my favorite cake, and I still think that Angie's chocolate cake is
the best
chocolate cake.
Wow.
Well, actually, you said chocolate cake, but you
get the fridge, and then it gets like the icing gets like kind of like fudgy, and then it's like
it just melts. It melts.
The tiramisu, because so the chocolate cake was always my favorite till I didn't know that you did tiramisu.
I didn't do tiramisu.
And that's what you told me after. And I'm sure
you see Letitia's comments. Look at Letitia's comment.
Letitia said my husband is allergic.
No joke. That is so true. And Garth messages me like 3 months prior just to make sure that you can get the cake.
Can't give him no excuse.
He has the cake. and Excedrin or Benadryl. So him have the cake and Benadryl right at the side so that he can have the cake and take Benadryl. No
Wow.
joke.
Well, I'm
No, but
grateful
let
I'm
me
not
tell you,
allergic.
the tiramisu, I have been seen licking that plate. Like,
So how come you didn't know that Angie make tiramisu? Because I've never had it.
I've never had it either. This
Didn't
one
even know
is
that Angie
new.
made tiramisu.
Because Anjali does not make tiramisu. However, someone one day assumed that since I bake carrot cake and I make chocolate cake, this famous chocolate cake, somebody called and ordered a tiramisu for her dear friend. And of course, mistress, I will take on any challenge because I am brave. Said, try it. I remember making it some years before. I never even remembered, and I researched it and I tried different things. And they raved about this thing. Some people say it's the best them ever have. One person, it's her absolute favorite dessert, and she's had it all over the place. And she was just like, "Oh my God, this thing is amazing." And I think I've done it now twice. I think I did it twice or 3 times.
I love
so
tiramisu.
good.
People within that group. But yes, I have to try it. Michelle makes an incredible tiramisu. That's her special.
Really?
Yes, she
Oh,
does.
that's good. I'm taking
Which,
notes.
sorry, which Michelle?
Say
What?
Michelle. Michelle.
Michelle.
Well, you probably know plenty Michelle, but say Michelle Jackson.
But Angie only have one Michelle.
But you
Michelle,
know,
I tell you out.
it's
I
funny
saw it.
because your bravery is different from ordinary bravery. Because ordinary bravery is that we are going to just decorate a cake, not that we're going to research fondant and then thereafter make a cake with drum and guitar. And when they ask like things like tiramisu, where we can't even spell, they say, "No, I do chocolate cake." But you're like, "No, that's a problem," and you just go and do it.
Rocher. All kind of excitement.
Are you?
You know, it's the same thing. I have comfort in a particular lane. So if tomorrow somebody called me and said, "Angelie, we're going to be speaking about the budget debate," I would ask them if they're on crack. I would tell them they absolutely have the wrong Angelie, and that would be the end of the story, right? So, but if they call me now and they said that they want to discuss the new uniform for someone, or plan a menu for the lunch after the budget debate, then absolutely Angelie is there. So it's like I said, it's knowing I know who I am, I know my strengths, and I stay clear in my lane. I say it all the time. You cannot live your wildest dreams if you're living someone else's dreams.
That's right.
You cannot ever become if you are outside of your comfort zone. There is a strength in knowing who you are, knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, and staying well within that. Like, I know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. And all I can do is play up my strengths and minimize my weaknesses. I know I've had evolutions throughout my life where I know particular traits about myself and things that I've done or things that I haven't done or things that I haven't tried or I have tried that didn't work. And I shelf that which brings failure or disappointment or hurt, and I absolutely play up my strengths and my likes and anything that will help me to grow. And that's all it is. And it's so funny. I guess my superpower is appreciating that there's nothing really special about me, because that's honestly how I feel, the biggest contradiction. But at the same time, knowing how incredibly special I am and rare. Like, I am a unicorn, but I say that with as much humility as would come out of Anna's mouth, because that is an Anna thing to say. You know, like, she would never say such a thing, but she's so humble. But and that's my strength, is knowing that. And it's just always being the best. And it's not being the best of anyone. It's not the best of the 4 of us here. It's not the best dressed when I go out. It's never that. Like, I never think, I wonder what such and such wearing. When I tell you, that has never crossed my mind when I'm going anywhere.
Because there's nobody that can compare to what you're going to wear anyway. So what's the point?
I won't respond. I will simply say that I never ever compete with others unless it's a race. And even in the race, I'm not competing with the other person. I am competing with myself. I always want to be better every day than I was the day before.
Yes.
And that's all I can do. It shows. It's as a result of that why it just seems that I'm always emerging or evolving or becoming or growing.
So, Angie, we've heard you talk about all the things that you've done, and we've heard baker, we've heard interior designer, we've heard upholsterer, wallpaper. I don't know if there's if what you call yourself, a wallpaper. I don't know. A
Yes,
cook,
wallpaper, yes.
a cook, a makeup artist, a brand ambassador. We've heard you talk about Anna. For those of you that don't know, Anna is her daughter. So mother, homemaker, wife. Now, guys, I don't know if you know, but
And Luke the spook.
Look, spook,
but,
look.
but I told Angie that I'm signing up to move into her house so that she can give me wife lessons, right?
We've spoken about that many times.
Right.
Many times.
Because
We'll do it soon.
Yes.
because when you talk about
homemaker
right?
lessons.
No, so how in God's name do you find the time to literally not only do all of these things, but do every single one of them well, and still have time for your friends, your sisters, to make everybody feel welcomed and loved, and that you have time for all of us? How do you do that?
Well, I am a Libra, so you know that the sign of the Libra is a scale. So I'm very, very balanced. But it's true, I'm balanced in my approach, but I could do with a little bit more balance. But it's with all things that sometimes some things suffer. But because I am immensely a people pleaser and a go-getter, I guess, or brave, or hating to fail, sometimes I suffer. But I would rather suffer than have things, any other imbalances.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's definitely finding the balance, and it's actually not true. I think my biggest weakness and is I don't stay in touch enough. And so when you say I make time for friends and stuff,
Yeah.
I make time. It's a fundamental weakness of which I won't say I'm ashamed, but I get very disappointed in myself very often about that, because there are so many people that I love dearly, but I don't think I make enough time to let them know that. So I take comfort in the fact that I know that I love them, and they feel it whenever we speak or whenever we see each other.
That's for sure.
But unfortunately, it is difficult for me to balance my life, my family life, work life, and find time for that. However, it doesn't mean that there isn't time that I can make a better effort to do it. So even if it's to write a list, and send a message to 10 people, or vote to call at least 2 people on a Sunday. I really need to make more time. And if COVID and this whole 2 years has taught us anything, it's that. I remember the worst thing about 2021 for me, it was the year of death. Like, the year started immediately in January with someone we knew of, someone who was famous, but every week or every other day, someone else was dying. Yep. We lost Colin, and his 1 year is coming up in a week. It's on the 6th of April. And I'm very happy, even though leading those, like, for a couple months between December and April, we didn't speak a lot. We weren't talking very often. It would be, once every few weeks. But fortunately, I saw him a few days before, because I ordered a bun from him, and I went and I picked up the bun from Colin. And I remember wanting to have him come over and spend the Easter Sunday with us, but it was a lockdown day, so there was no movement. It was a no movement weekend, I remember. So he wouldn't have been able to come, and I wouldn't have been able to go with him. And then we never spoke after that. all I got was a phone call on a Tuesday. Is it true? And so if anything should have taught me the importance of staying in touch is that. And it's clear that like losses like that, it's never planned. You don't know when it's coming. You don't know who it's going to be. It can be any age, it can be anyone. And I don't want to ever have that regret with someone who I love and I'm so close to, not knowing how much I love them.
Well, I think I can safely say for all of your friends, especially based on the comments, that they all know that you love them. We all
and I'm truly and as much as I can, and I used to do it much more. Whenever anybody called on me, I was always there for them. It's more difficult now because I have a lot more on my plate, but as much as I can, I always will help. But Naomi, I love Naomi like my sister, and I always have. From the first time I met her, I had a deep connection with Naomi. And it's very unfortunate that we don't speak more often.
Yeah.
But Naomi, I hope you know how much I love you. And she does. I think Naomi does.
Well, we had a moment, I don't remember when it was, Angie, and she sent this long message just saying exactly that.
Yeah.
So same exact what she's saying now. She just wanted to make sure that I knew how much she loved me. So
Same thing
I know, I love you so much.
Same thing for Rochelle. And it's so interesting. I'm innately a loner. Like, people don't know this. I'm a sociable loner, very sociable. So you see me out here thinking, oh my God, she's so fun and she's so great and she have all these friends. And then I come home and I just like, I can literally do that. But I can survive alone. Like when it's a pleasure to drive to Montego Bay for work or whatever alone.
Me too.
Just to be with myself and to clear my head and to just be. But once I have the privilege of having friends over or being with friends, it's as much pleasure.
Yes.
So at the heart of it, that's really what the issue is that I'm a loner at heart. So I tend to, I don't mind being alone, but I need to just be more available.
Or maybe we as the friends, since we know that you're
reach out more.
to push that a little bit more.
Just send me an emoji.
Nudge you.
And I have to thank Rochelle as well, because Rochelle and I have never been very close friends. It's interesting. We have mutual friends.
Yes.
Right? And but Rochelle has had a connection with me. It's very strange. She will call me at the most perfect times, and she's done it a couple of times, or send me a message to say that it has come up on her heart to pray for me. And it's always when I need it. And Rochelle is one of the people who truly sees me. A lot of people they see me, but they don't really see me.
Yeah.
And Rochelle sees me in a way that some people who've known me for years don't. And so, of course, when I heard I was speaking to Oliver, I just thought of each of you in all of the capacities that I know and love you. And I was like, of course. I mean, Luke has PEP tomorrow, and I'm making this hour to sit with you and then to just go and just be with him. But that's a part of the balance, right?
We are so grateful.
Yes.
Angie, we've said it, everything that you do well, and you talk about giving everything 100%, but to the people who have the talent and they know they have the talent, but they're afraid, what would you say?
It's knowing, what would I say? You see, I'm innately brave, you know. You will never know what you're capable of unless you try.
Yeah.
You'll never know. There is what's his name that said that the most talent in the world is in graveyards.
Mm-hmm.
Because for whatever reason,
Miles Monroe.
Yeah.
Fear is the biggest crippling evil thing that can take us over. And it's fear of, a lot of you, it's fear of success. I think Arlene has that fear, to be honest, and Anna has a little bit of it. It's fear of failure, but it's fear of success. It's fear of the scope. It's fear of not knowing. You have to conquer your fear, but in order to, I think the biggest the biggest thing to remember is being true to you. If it's something you're passionate about, like Rochelle, I'm sure you're an incredible attorney. However, you have a gift with people and with words and with your way that serves you and others far more than law does or can or will.
Say it a little louder, Angie. Just a little bit louder.
You do.
Right, I have to squeeze out to Rochelle, you know.
It's okay. We have it recorded, so we'll play it back for her.
And it's like she know what she don't know.
You have to give her some credit though, because she has taken the bold step
Yes.
to step outside of it, to do HR, to do her public speaking, to do everything.
Entrepreneur.
She's what? Sorry?
To become an entrepreneur.
To become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And Rochelle can't fail. She's Rochelle Cameron. She's magic and power and strength. And she is also very bold and brave and confident. She has an immense confidence in herself and her abilities. And that's essentially what you need to do. I am not comfortable in a particular lane. So I cannot go in that lane because I'm destined to fail. And that's exactly what it is, you know. Some people are probably failing at things or afraid of pursuing something because it's not truly their passion. It's what is trending, it's what is popular, it's what will please someone else, but it's not what will please them.
Right.
And that's the biggest trick, you know, and especially as women who want to be secure. So you want to have some amount of security, so you can't afford a lot of risk, especially women with children, for example, or you can't afford to take a lot of risk. But Naomi, you're a strong believer. You have a very strong village. You have to lean on your village sometimes to help you where they can or who can help you. But you have to fight the fear, and you also
ugly cry.
You have to build on your strengths, not on the strength of others. You cannot be a carbon copy of someone else. You can only be one you. I think my strength is that I am 100% Anjali. You know, see nobody else in me, because I am 100% me. And a lesson that I've had to learn is not to, which I was doing it for a very long time, is trying to not make Anna into me, but to make her more like me. And I had to learn that Anna is her own person, and she's far from very much not like me. And it was Arlene who helped me, who told me one day, she says, Angelie, Anna knows that she's brilliant and beautiful and special. But the difference is she doesn't need the world to know that she is. And it's interesting, like things that I would hope that Anna would change about herself, just stepping back and allowing her to become and to be herself, just embracing who she is, what she likes, what she want to wear, all one of the big oversized sweater and the sweatpants, them and my outfit dead. she want to wear the sweater go dinner and the sweatpants go dinner with Crocs. I just had to let go and let her be, until one day she said she wants to wear a long skirt and a beautiful off-shoulder blouse to sushi, because I just let her be, because it was more important to build a relationship with her than to break it down by forcing her not to be her. And that is the strength in it. We cannot go under pressure. We cannot buckle to the pressure of social media, of your friends, of your partner, of your parents. You can't buckle to it. You have to be almost uncompromising in just deciding to just be and go for it, and just go for it. But it's essentially the only lesson on it is you have to know yourself.
Yes.
You have to know yourself, and you also, whatever you're good at, whatever you love, that is where your strength and your power lies. It cannot lie in something in which you're disinterested. It cannot lie in something that you don't enjoy, because it's not supposed to be labor. Not supposed to be work. It's supposed to just come naturally to you.
Wow.
Well, you see what Brandon said? Brandon said, preach, Angelie. So, wow.
He also said that Russia is a big fountain and that you are majestic.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
absolutely.
gonna say that part too, Rochelle. That's what she's
Okay.
I mean, even when I had the privilege of, back to drennaLUNA, when I had the privilege of dressing so many of you beautiful women, I remember once we made this gorgeous cape thing, and it wasn't for anybody. Because the show is not supposed to wear you, are you supposed to wear the clothes?
Mm-hmm.
And when said cape became available, look at Arlene, Mr. Arlene, Rochelle. Absolutely. And I think that outfit is definitely one of my top 3 favorite drennaLUNA pieces of all time.
Wow.
And Rochelle did that piece so much justice. But it's because Rochelle is authentically herself.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt who she is. And it is evident to everyone who knows her who she is.
Yes.
And I could see that. And we all know that. So I knew in that moment that, yeah, man, Rochelle is.
See, Patsy,
Let me tell you,
well, the power
when
bank of
we put on the cape and we stand up in the mirror, I will say, hey,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
hey,
Murder.
murder. No,
Murder.
but you know what it is about you, Angela, is like you have been just so mesmerizing tonight. And as I see Arlene commenting,
That's amazing.
Yes,
yes,
you've been
Because
commenting all
none at all. None at all. The talkative at all.
But when she talks about you, she talks a lot.
but that is what is so
Yes.
amazing and magical about your relationship, that both of you feed off each other, and then they're the twins. So together, you 4 are such a mighty force of support and cheer. It's like, all right, don't need nobody else, because within that groove, you guys, it's so amazing. And you know what I found too, that you are a part of drennaLUNA, ensuring that Arlene, her amazing design skills were made available to the world.
Yes.
But you knew you had to be there to push
Yeah,
it.
man. Right?
You see,
Or else nobody would ever know.
I mean, every time I see you guys together, like, I'm getting teary. It is so amazing. And I mean, and you, as you're speaking even about your confidence, I just believe when you have that inborn support, like you've got a best friend from birth, it's like you're unstoppable. And Hannah has that with both of you.
Exactly. It's so interesting. It's so funny. I think I said it to you, Rochelle, that like Rochelle knows I love people and I love being around people, and I had good friendships, and I was unfortunate to lose a strong friendship bond very early. I was young. It was in my teens, and it literally scarred me. And I almost told myself, it served you right, because you never did love no only a friend. So it served you right. However, it affected it was difficult for me to have friendships after that.
Yes.
For a very, very long time, because I care passionately, and I try to be honest and true to people, and I hate disappointment. Failure and disappointment go hand in hand for me, and I don't. And to lose a friend is like I failed. It's like a failure, and I do not like to fail, and I do not like disappointment, and I'm very disappointed if people hurt me or betray me, and so I've been very protective of my heart and my space for a very long time. And I don't want any of my friends here to think that I think that their friendships are superficial, or my friendship with them is superficial, but it may help them understand a little bit of why I don't give more of myself,
Mhm.
or why I can't. But then I say that to say that it could be because I had sisters who are also close in age. The twins are just 2 years older than me, and Arlene is just a year younger than me. So it was all girls, and our parents sort of, I wouldn't say they sheltered us, but we were always very, very close to each other. And so it's almost like we never really needed anyone else. And even when we were apart, we're still close. And so that helps. And that's why even COVID was such a good time for me. But I also have to try to remember those people who are alone, who didn't have family, who didn't have friends, or you know what I mean. And I try to stay in touch with the friends that I know need it most. So there are a couple of friends, one or two who I know, one in particular, who it means the world to her when I make time for her. Her needs are more than it is than another friend's needs of me might be, and so I make time for her. And if I just want it, I'm doing my best, and I'm just trying to do better at being a good friend. But of course, my priority is mommy, is to be a better mother, or the best mother I can be, and wife. And I have a whole heap of correcting to do, because I won't say that I was a perfect mother. As a matter of fact, I think I've hindered Anna in a lot of ways. I had a very heavy hand. I'm strict. I don't take the foolishness, because I know my duty in raising a world citizen. I'm not just raising Angelie and Timothy's children. They are going to leave our nest, and they're going to go out, and they have to live with others. And they have to be able to actually live with us and end up at HR to Rochelle every week or every minute, then they're HR. They have to be decent citizens. They have to be people that people like and admire and want to work with and want to deal with and will marry or have relationships with. And those are the people that I'm raising. And I think for a long time, while I was trying to make Anna more like me, competitive and strong and outgoing and embracing all that she is, I took away her voice for a little while. And so, no, there are decisions that she may not readily make because she has, for too long, leaned on my approval, or, yearned for my approval, or she's doubting her decisions because she has to deal with mommy, with Anjali, So I'm trying my best to break that cycle, or to just, and I think Arlene, you think it's working? I think so. I mean, she genuinely is now my best friend. Arlene, Anna, and I have an incredible relationship, and it was right in time. Actually, it was right in time, because it could have just been disastrous.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as you're speaking about this, I know persons are saying, Anjali, your vulnerability and your ability to even laugh about things that aren't working, but to identify them, work on them, and to own where you can do better. Brandon says, Anjali, I need my time. But
yes, I know. Pops, you don't see your time a come, man. Just cool now, man.
Well, Anjali, as you're some of the time then when you post your picture them like at the 20 years, so people are scroll through and say, Anjali husband stay good, Anjali husband nice, full of fun.
Don't. That's when me just tuck him in my bed at night time and make him stay right just next to me. No.
But Anjali, it was like a whirlwind romance. Arlene says, of course, you're the best mom if your 17-year-old considers you her best friend and enjoys your always.
She does. Yes. She does. And then I keep talking about Anna, but that's because Luke is such a star. He's a sweetheart. He is honestly, I say it all the time. I have no idea why I am so incredibly blessed and favored. We don't understand the half of how incredibly blessed and favored I am.
Tell them about who you want Timmy just meet 1 minute. Tell them about that blessing there.
Yes. And I mean, just even to have Timothy in this time where it's just chaos and madness. I've been married for 20 years. For 20 years. That's such a long time. When I was 20, I swore I would never marry up until I was 20 years old. And And it literally has been easy. It's been easy to do it because I chose the most decent, caring, the fact that Timothy allows me to just be, that is the strength of our union. That is the strength and the measure of that man, because he's my polar opposite. That's why some people don't even know him. If you never get a bust for Instagram a couple times, they wouldn't even know that he's true. Him actually exists. because it's polar opposite. He just wants to stay home, and every once in a while he'll go. Brandon can get him out. Colin used to be able to get him out. There are a few people who get him out, but it's once a year, perhaps, maybe every other year. But he is happy to just be. And what is the great thing is that he allows me to also just be. And he gives me to Brandon and to just go out and have a wonderful time and be extra. I mean, everybody's always admiring me, like, oh my gosh, you look so great. My family is so over me. They all just roll their eyes and like, geez, you're so extra.
You don't see early.
I love how you said that he just hands you over to Brandon.
But I can just be with Brandon, and it's so great, and he loves it. Like, everybody just loves it. Yeah, man. Mom, you're going out with Brandon? Yes, and you look nice. And no, man, don't wear that shoe, or yeah, man. So I would like to think that I am reaping what I've sown. And that is what I take comfort in. I'm reaping what I've sown. And so only as much as I can, only sow good seed and not sow no bad seed, because I cannot manage the vines and the weed and all of that stuff. I only love the drama in my neckline and my hemline. Nowhere else.
You know, Arlene said that if there was no Rochelle, Anjali alone would be wearing her clothes with the kids.
That is too funny. But seriously, who else is gonna wear all the fabulous? Yeah. Rochelle and Angie.
And Angelie, before we go, there is a story that you told me a few years ago that I always remember about your first pregnancy and that revelation of the name Anna. If you would be willing to share it with our viewers, because I've always been so inspired by that testimony.
Gosh. So you know me blessed. Okay, so I'll just very quickly go through, because it actually was very quick. Timothy and I met and married within 10 weeks of knowing each other. 2.5 months, we were married, sealed the deal. I
just want to make sure you heard that. 10 weeks, and they've still been married for 20 years. So it's possible, okay?
So I had one period, and then I was pregnant. It was so much joy. I cannot even explain it, but we just knew, and we were completely happy with each other, and we had no doubts somehow that we would be together. Anyway, so we were very happily pregnant, and everybody was elated and overjoyed. And I remember the Saturday we went, and I was 22 weeks pregnant. Well, leading up to that, we had decided that if we were going to have a boy, his name would be Jude. And if we had a girl, her name would be Anna. So on the Saturday, I found out that we were having Jude. And we called everybody, and everybody was so overjoyed because Jude was coming. Our firstborn was going to be a boy. I was 22 weeks pregnant, so big belly and thing. And then I woke up the morning, and for some reason, I passed my urine, and then I felt like I was still passing urine, literally. And it was clear that my water had broken. Went to the hospital. Long and short of it, despite you do reproduce amniotic fluid, so I could have been bedridden for another month and hope to take the baby to at least be safe to deliver, even though premature. But I was still running a fever, which was a sign of infection, even though I was on antibiotics and all of that. And so my doctor decided that it was probably best to take the baby. And so I had to induce, and we lost Jude. Somehow, that's the same thing too. It's the strength. It didn't break us. It was the strength of our relationship and the support of our family that we'll come again. And I said, all right, do this again, you know? And so the following year, I was pregnant again, and it was wonderful. And then this time we said, we're not calling the name or so. We just go through and things. So we said, let's just use a neutral name. Let's just refer to this little one as Jessie. And at 20 weeks, so really big, I just wasn't feeling the baby move. And found out that I also lost Jessie. And so this time now, I say, you know, God is wicked. Why would he take 2 babies from a happily married couple and so much trauma and suffering? I'm vexed. And somehow one day, I woke up the morning, one Sunday morning, and I was just compelled to go to church. And I woke up Timothy, well, he was awake because he woke up before me. And I said, Timothy, I feel like going to church today. Let's go to church. I want to bless these 2 little babies that we've lost. And when we got there, it was a Jamaican pastor who had gone to Eastern Europe to study. So he had been away for many years. He was a visiting pastor, and he was talking about his experiences there and how he get wayward, and he was Christian, and me, I rolled my eye and we said, whatever. Become vexed. However, I was compelled to go. And long and short of it, at the end of it, even though I wasn't feeling him during his sermon, I have to be very honest, I was compelled to go up for the prayer at the end. And somehow I was the first one to get to him. And I told him, I said, you know, we just lost 2 babies, and I just wanted to pray for the souls of those babies, and, you know, pray for us that we'll one day be able to extend our little family. And he put his hand on my hand on my tummy, Timothy's hand on mine, and his hand on my hand. And he was praying and praying, and literally mid-sentence, halfway through the prayer, without finishing the sentence, he stopped. And I was wondering, why is he stopped? So I opened my eyes and I looked at him, and I literally saw his face just like change, and like something just came over him, and he just opened his eyes, he looked at me, and he said, don't worry, you're going to have a baby. It is going to be a girl, and her name will be Anna. He never said Hannah. He never said Andrea. He said Anna. And I am blessed and highly favored by our Lord God that knows that I am not the most faithful person. I do not pray every day. I do not read my Bible every day. But he continues to and has always just blessed me and filled me. And
Amen.
My Anna and I had Anna, and I had no complications in pregnancy. She faced mash up and thing. I had the most unusual delivery, but a more beautiful soul and child I could not have had. Anna means grace, and she is grace. She is so incredibly special, and I am so incredibly blessed to have her. Blessed to have her. And then we did him one up me and give me Luke after that. And I'm just like, come on. You know? Wow. So I and that's the thing, the fact that he's gifted me with so much. How can I go through my life and not live it to the fullest? How can I not be the absolute best that I can be? I want, when I go through the gates, because I'm hoping to go through the gates, and even when I go through the gates, even if he come down here and he say, Angelie, you did good. He's going to say, I'm going to make reference to my song Book of Rules, where it says there, common people like you, he gives us tools, he gives us a bag, he gives us a shapeless mass, and he lets us mold our lives and become who we're to become. And you are going to get a bag of tools filled with blessings and challenges, adversities that also help you to decide which one to take, which tool to use at which time. And you have a bag of tools, and you're really going to make the tools sit down and gather dust.
Yeah.
My bag, we not stop to stitch up the bottom because the hand broke pop off. We not stop, wash it and dry it and stitch it and wash it and dry it and stitch it, because I have to continue to carry my tools and I have to continue to care my tools. And when we rub down the tools to the knob and it no work no more, God always gives me another tool. And sometimes I go in somebody else's bag and I say, "No, use the tool there, lend me."
I will use it. I will use it.
Lend me the pickaxe, because me no know you have a pickaxe sit down, then you have something to dig. I cannot be this blessed and not live a full life. I can't. I can't do it. I can't not just be all that I can be.
Yeah.
And so every day I'm trying to grow more and learn more and just be more. And I want to be more conscious. Like I said to Naomi today, I wish I could read more, but my brain just doesn't work like that. My brain races and works. So
when I post my million books that are to be read, but yes.
and I know my new goal for 2022. It's so interesting in light of all this conversation about reparations and slavery and oppression and the visit, and I have so much mixed feelings, because I have for too long just been too dismissive and not directly dismissive. My motto and my mantra is individual responsibility. We are all responsible for everything that happens in our lives, because everything we do, it's based on decisions that we make.
Yes.
So you have to really think of the decisions. If I married Timothy after 10 weeks and then he turned out to be a scoundrel, it was a decision that I made. And I don't know, it could be that I ignored red flags or that kind of thing. But it would have been my decision to have done that. So I take seriously my individual responsibility in all that I do. So if I did something to harm my children, I try not to do that. Mm-hmm. It's always it's individual responsibility. And so because I've overcome, or I've become what I've become despite where I came from, and because remember, we grew up poor. My family was not wealthy. I was not a privileged child, and I know I live a privileged life, and I can say, well, anybody can do it. I've not been sensitive to the real situation and how it is for others, and how different it is for others, and how the actions of others do affect us some. And so this is my year now of learning more and being more aware and more conscious and more sensitive, more understanding, or perhaps more helpful. How can I help others now to become more, to overcome that, to get beyond that, to get past that? I don't dream of leaving some great legacy or being remembered for anything in particular. I honestly do not. But I appreciate the fact that I do have a voice that people want to hear, that people listen to. And I want to actually use that voice and use my platform and use my strengths to somehow help others to just be more, be all it can be, So this is my year of doing that. I'm going to try to squeeze that on the scale somewhere. I'll fit it on the scale somewhere and dig at the bottom of my bag of tools and see which tool I can use to do just that.
I love that. Wow.
I love that. Yes.
So, yeah.
We know that you need to go help prepare for PEP, but we can't let you leave without our best advice segments.
Oh my gosh. So best advice?
No, so we're gonna ask you questions.
All right. Topics rather. That we'll ask you to share the best advice that you would give, or the best advice that you have received about each topic. So the first one is best advice about money.
Lord of mercy. You have to appreciate and respect it. You have to respect money, because especially now. I mean, I went and filled up my tank that usually costs 6,000. My little work van it used to be $6,000 to fill up the tank. Yesterday it was $8,079.
Wow.
And some people I seem like it's just $2,000, but it's not.
No.
It's not.
Yeah.
The fact that I looked at chicken yesterday and the tray of chicken that we used to buy for, I don't know, maybe $480 a year ago was like $1,300.
16, I bought a tray today.
I couldn't, well, like the little tray, me look on because I couldn't even look on the big tray. I couldn't get past it.
$100 for a tray of chicken.
You have to respect money and budgeting. You have to budget and you have to plan. And you cannot spend what you have not earned. You cannot spend what is not yet yours. But you cannot do it. And I did it. I had a little respect for money. So now I'm learning and I'm making sure that we teach our children that they have to respect money. They have to budget. They cannot live outside their means and they have to put something aside. It's something that too many women, I mean, as women, and especially women who choose to be, because this is where I'm passionate. It's women who have chosen to become caregivers and homemakers or housewives. And children are not pension.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen
Mm.
with your relationship with your husband. And too many women have suffered that, where they've made us an immense sacrifice for which they were never paid. And then at the end of it, you're just lost. So wherever we can, we just have to prepare. And it's never too late to start. I mean, Brandon will advise us, as he has been doing,
Yes,
advise many people that just seek help, research, just figure out how you can just always put, but you have to respect the money and put it aside. Something for a rainy day, for an emergency, for the future.
Yep.
Best advice about love.
You follow your heart more than your head. It's painful to admit that a lot of people are in relationships for the wrong reasons. We're in it for security. We're in it for hype. We're in it for status. We're in it, we're settling.
Yeah.
We're settling. You have to trust your heart guided by your head, or trust your head guided by your heart, whichever way, but you have to pay attention to it. We have an instinct and we all have it. We just pretend that we don't.
Mm-hmm.
If something doesn't feel right, it's not right. You have to trust your gut, and you have to. It's so funny we expect a lot of from our partner, but we have to. What are you giving? What are you bringing to the table? How are you setting the table? How are you maintaining the table? What is your part in the table? Listen to just pay attention to the red flags. You have to believe. That's why I'm saying we have to always be our best selves, because you have to know your value. I know my value. I know my worth, and Timothy is very, very fortunate to have me as his wife. As fortunate as I am to have him, but I know that he's very fortunate to have me.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I didn't make a mistake with Timothy. I had been in relationships before Timothy, and I knew that I'm not sure this was the person I wanted to spend the rest of my life with. Mm-hmm. Especially because I was the person necessarily attached to the ideal of being married. Yet when I met him, I knew, based on what I could see in a very short time of 8 weeks, that he was a decent person that I could spend the rest of my life with, or at least a significant amount of time with. So you have to follow your heart and not so much your head. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to compromise. You're going to have to give as much as you take, or more than you take sometimes. But you have to trust your heart, guided by your head.
Wow. Best advice about relationships.
You have to be honest with them. And for me, I'm honest with everyone I have. I think I'm as very honest with everyone I have a relationship with. You can't use the same brush on to stroke everyone. Mm. It's different with everyone, and you have to make time. We mustn't take up things too hard. It's so hard for because me taking everything. So maybe that's why I can't keep in touch with everybody, because they may go just taking everything, and it's just and I can't manage. But with relationships, maintain them, You have to respect them. You have to understand them. And what those, I don't like this expression that they're not serving you, because I mean, you don't have relationships to serve you. But you have to, you should maintain the good ones.
Yeah.
The good ones, because not because you expect anything or you anticipate anything happening, but it's because that person impacts your life, in a beautiful and meaningful way. And you learn from them. They help you grow. They help you love. They help you understand. They can help you when you need help. Literally, you know what I mean. They build you up. So maintain them. You need to, Anjali, you need to maintain relationships. Take my one advice. And you need to say I love you very often, which I do.
See, Arlie not allowed the whole of your business plans.
I know. I was just like, oh my gosh.
It's true. So me and Arlie, we say it was our year of touring, We go Bali. We went Bali, and then she said, "Yeah, man, we're going Cuba." I said, "Yeah, man, we're going to Cuba." And then we did Cuba. I said, "Yeah, Cuba nice." Yeah, Arlie nice.
But they look nice.
I jumped on the plane and came back to Jamaica, and I was like, "Hey, I'm engaged."
I love that for you. As Brandon said, Timothy Bingo.
Yeah. Last two questions.
Best
Advice about business. Whenever you know, you just let me know, please. Let me know. I'm learning. It's so funny.
That's we are all I am confident that we are all still in this space.
Listen, I tell people this all the time. I'm not this big ambitious person. I've never had lofty dreams of owning my own empire and taking out the world and mashing the glass ceiling. That's not Angelie. We just want some nice food and feed everybody and everybody happy and all is
and make people look nice.
Exactly.
But I think you gave it to us today. Everything that we do, we need to give it 100%.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing in business. If you don't love it, it's not going to work. And it's so fun. And I'm neglected to say that I've come through my life with things choosing me. And I think this is for the first time I actually chose it. I chose this. I chose interior decorating because I realized that I do have a gift. I sat down and I said, I'm going to choose this thing. I'm going to try it. And I chose it and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I didn't go to London. I went to Oxford, my dear.
You went to Oxford. I'm so sorry.
For upholstery. And I went to Kent for wallpaper.
I love that.
Get it right. Okay.
But yes, and so it's the first time, and I actually, the fact that I even did that I took the steps to do that. To grow. And I'm going to take this business seriously and make it a business and just do it.
Yeah.
Rashi has the last question. It's a question that is thought-provoking for all of us. Rashi,
So when you look at the journey of this life of Angelie, Angie, is Miss Drenna granddaughter?
And Luna, yes. Drenna and Luna.
Yeah. What award would you give yourself if you paused on the journey so far? What award would you give to yourself?
I think I would give myself the same award that I was given in Miss Jamaica Fashion Model 1992, most dynamic.
Wow.
I think that I am most dynamic.
Yes.
Most dynamic in spirit, in attitude, in accomplishment, I believe that my life has been most dynamic. And it's a life, I said it a couple of years ago, and Arlene and our dear friend Donnet said, actually stop talking foolishness. But I have no regrets. Or I have very little regrets. Yes. There are things I wish I had done differently. And obviously, but there are definitely, I didn't just do them and make mistakes and fail at them and then continue doing them. I learned valuable lessons from them that I took with me for the rest of my life. And so at 47, I look back at all I've done and all that I am, and I might not leave anything wonderful behind. And people may forget that the name Angelie Martin in a year after if I pass now. But I am very happy and content with the life I've lived.
Amen.
And I'm glad that I have the attitude to just live the rest of it to the fullest, to the best of my ability, and just continuing to be the best person that I can be. And by person, it doesn't mean that I'm Mother Teresa. It doesn't mean that I am Mia Motley. It doesn't mean that I am Lady Diana. I am Anjali, and I understand what that means, and that's all that matters.
That is all that matters. Wow. Thank you so much, Anjali. This was like really, I mean, we knew the show was going to be amazing, but it was really, really amazing and inspiring. And I mean, I think all of our viewers are going to leave with so many takeaways tonight.
Yes.
Thank you. I certainly hope so, because I always wonder every time people ask me to speak about whatever, I'm like, oh, why me? I literally ask myself that, why me? Who cares?
Tell you why. Somebody said it earlier. I'm gonna tell you why you.
Who cares?
This is why you.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
You see that mommy says she's proud of you. Aww.
Oh.
And even my mother, I try to, even that. I mean, I've learned so many lessons, valuable lessons from my mother and her life, and her sacrifice. Our mother, I don't know how many of you had that, but our mother sacrificed so much for her 4 girls.
Absolutely.
Her own dreams, her own aspirations. So home, if you just do one disappointment, that don't make no sense.
Nope.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense that she chose to give up everything that she could possibly be on her own, and live her full life and be her full self. And she didn't do that. She raised 4 girls instead, and look at the 4 girls. I mean, come on.
That is right.
How can I? I cannot. I just absolutely cannot.
Mommy did well.
Yeah.
She really did. She really did. Yeah, she really did.
Angie, thank you. Thank you for saying yes. We love you. Thank you for continuing to be an inspiration to us daily. Do not stop posting. We want to be exposed to all the amazing things that you continue to do.
Yes.
Guys,
and continue using your voice. Continue sharing this beautiful voice, this inspiring voice, and sharing your stories.
Yes.
Thank you. And I promise I'm going to stay in touch more. But if you message me too, you can message me too. Everybody message me too.
We know what we need to do. We know what we need to do.
Look at this. Lorianne says, wonderful. Admire your fearless authenticity. Very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorianne.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's the other words is like very inspiring. Best neighbor. When the neighbor can say that.
Oh, yeah.
So we are covering tomorrow. We're definitely covering him and all the students that are going to be taking PEP tomorrow.
Yes. My sweet Luke. And my head boy. You know that he's head boy?
He's head boy. Awesome.
Head boy. There was no doubt. And it's when things like that happen, I said, obviously I did something right.
You did a lot of things right.
A lot. Exactly. A lot. You already know. I'm moving in for my lessons. I need them.
Yes. You need to hurry up to mom.
We heard that Naomi needs to hurry up.
I need to hurry up, or you need to hurry up.
The gate's fine. Andrew, fly the gate. So I need to do it. I need to make the notebook. Actually, let's do it. We need to have Angelie's guide too.
I'm ready.
Yes, we're ready.
Listen, you know what me know about. I'll just say Angelie's experiences, and you can take it from there.
Listen, whatever you want to put your name in front of, I'm there.
Right. Thank you, Angie. We release you to go back.
Thank you so much, girls, for having me. It was such a pleasure. Such a pleasure.
We love you.
Love you too, but I'm actually reading the comments. Is that okay? Did I?
Oh, wow.
So everybody, thank you for joining us.
Oh, look at all my dear friends. Can I just shout out, please, to Audrey, Ambassador Marks, and Odette, and Brandon? Oh, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much.
Oh.
Wow.
And the comments have been great.
Yeah.
I'll double up. Yeah, man.
So guys, we want to say thank you for joining us for another week of Detour Essentials Live. We look forward to seeing you again next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, 8 o'clock Central Standard Time. 2 more episodes left. Look out for the information on the workshop on April 30th. We will be live in person and of course online for those of you that are all over the world that choose to continue to support us. We are grateful. And we wish you well for the rest of the week. Have a great rest of your week.
Thank you, guys. I have to say that I love you. You're so inspiring and wonderful. This is such an incredible platform. I'm so very, very proud of all of you. Very, very proud.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Like 6 seasons. That's like, yes, honestly, genuinely. Love you.
Love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye-bye.